Alrighty, everybody, welcome into Sinister J's Kingdom. I am Sinister J, and it's time for a retro review. And in this video today, I'm going to be reviewing Mario Pinball Land for the GBA. Now, I am pleasantly surprised with this game. I didn't expect it to do as well as I thought it was. I actually thought it was going to be a lot different by the artwork of the game and just the way the game's played. Now, I will go over the pros and cons here in this video and just get into what I like and what I don't like about the game. And that's normal for this review. But this one here was a little bit differently for me. I played a lot of pinball machine games, and this one here just sits differently than most pinball games. And you're going to understand why when I talk about it. So let's just get into it. So here's Super Mario Pinball Land for the GBA. Now, I tend to forget how the name said, and I think I did in the opening. But it is a very, very fun game, and I do suggest playing it. I don't know if it's going to be for everybody. I myself enjoy games like this. As you can see, it does look really, really stunning for a GBA game. I was absolutely surprised at the visuals in it and how well the graphics are in this. And I just was surprised at how they set it up. It does give a big twist to what pinball games are about, especially this one. This one's really different compared to most pinball games, and I'll go over why it's different in my pros and cons section. But it makes it unique compared to most pinball games. Most pinball games, if you've ever played a pinball game like on your computer, or a simulation of a pinball game on your computer, or even one, Nintendo's brought out a few. I know you guys seen me play Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire pinball. I reviewed that a few months ago. And Pokemon Pinball in general, I reviewed that here before too, a while back. But it's different than most of those pinball games you play. So I'm not going to get into the pros and cons as to why. First, I'm going to go over the cons, and then we'll get into the pros. So the cons I have for this game are... So the pinball machine in general, each section of the pinball machine is just a little confined area. Alright, and it makes it difficult for me to go certain places because of all the obstacles in that one general area that, it would be something over here, and then some guy moving something, Shy Guy, he'll move around the ice rink sometime, and then he'll put an obstacle here. And it prevents you from getting to that next gate. Now, there's something that they could have did to remedy that, but they didn't think about doing it when they made it, I guess. Once you hit that block could have went away, and it could have made it a lot easier for you to, be on that one side. But then again, we need obstacles in a pinball machine. Right here's an example of there's 5 different obstacles in one area, which, really, really just was a bit much for this area, especially when you need to go to that 5-door. And my biggest problem I noticed when I'm playing it is when you flip the ball up, if you're trying to go up towards that door, it'll send the ball the complete opposite way. And now I don't know if it's my timing, which it could be, but I'm having trouble getting the ball to go to the right side. It always ends up going to the left side. And I've seen this happen plenty times where I'll be at that first section and I'll end up in a ghost house, which I don't want to go there. I want to try to get to the next gate. And here's another example of there being too many obstacles in one area. You would want to get to the 3-door, but they made it harder to get there, I guess because the star number that's on the door. And that's one of my big pet peeves of this game. Not only that, just the close range. The way the close range pinball machine is, that's one of the cons of this, and then trying just too many obstacles. So I guess I can go over the pros here. The pros are graphics are amazing. As you can see, it's visually stunning. it does save how many stars you get. I do like that it's like kind of story, not really story driven, but it's much like Super Mario 64. That's one thing you'll notice, that as you play this, they build it to be somewhat similar to Mario 64, where in Mario 64, if you get a certain amount of stars, you go up to the door and you open up the door, and then you're more than good to walk through. That was another thing I thought was fun. You know, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else I really enjoyed. I actually do like the fact that they made each section individually different than another. That was a really cool thing too. That can really go far in games, especially when you make your areas different, especially when you're trying to reference back to another game. That's awesome too. I think that's it for my pros. Now I can go into the actual game itself and talk about the game itself, which I'm going to do. So if you're expecting to go in this very Mario-like, expect a lot of like Mario things. Like the music is going to sound very Mario-like. The graphics very Mario-like. He does still talk woohoo when he drops into the game. The cannon works the same way as it does in Mario 64, where you get shot out to another land or whatever. I do like that system where you're going to go to a new section with the star system. I do think they could have changed that up a little bit. And how do I want to put this? There was something I was going on with this. I think what it was is like, you know, when you get to the star door, I think that should have been a whole different area for a machine. Like that'd be your unlock machine. And what I think they could have did with that and remedied that, but it is good the way it is. But what I really think they could have done with that is put multiple pinball machines inside of this instead of making it you go to one section at a time after you collect a certain amount of stars. Like I do think they could have made this a little bit differently, but I do enjoy what they did with it. I do, but I was gonna, if they would ever make a sequel to this, they could really do that a little bit more differently, where you collect a certain amount of hats or whatever, or like stars, and lead you to a different pinball machine, so that way you could play on that pinball machine. And of course, you got everything in the game. Looks like Mario. Toad's there, Peach is there. I haven't really seen anything with Luigi, but hey, it's a Mario game, so you don't know. I don't know. He may show up. I also don't know. You know, he may. I don't know. I mean, I haven't played too far, but I played enough to give this game a review. And I know I'm rambling on, but the game's fun. Okay, it came out in 2004. But yeah, the game's fun. I suggest playing it. Let me get back into my outro. Alright, so there you go. There you have it. I enjoyed this. I'm going to give this kind of a high rating, but not super high. So I want to give it a 9 out of 10. And I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 because visually it's stunning and a lot of fun. But you have to continue to like work at getting better at playing pinball games. If you're not good at pinball games, and you know you're one of those people that like just really you play the pinball machine. I'm one of those people where I play a pinball machine and I cannot keep the ball in the pinball machine. That takes a lot of practice, and that's what this is. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of figuring out your angles and timing and all that. So it's not built for everybody, but I do suggest people that. I do suggest people that are good at pinball machines playing this, and if you haven't experienced pinball machines, play this as well. But yeah, it's music-wise, it sounds exactly like Mario. Visually-wise, Mario. It's just all around Mario 64 and a pinball machine. That's what I can basically call this. And again. If you liked Mario 64, you'll be a fan of it. If you like Mario in general, you'll be a fan of it. A lot of people like the Mario genre. And this is one that I do think a lot of people could go and explore, and we may have a sequel to if Nintendo finds out. A lot of people explored this and actually want the sequel. So that's it for me. I guess I'm gonna get out of here. So, all right, that's it for me, fellow Deathbats, Lady Deathbats. If you like this, hit the subscribe button and like button. Also, if you like this, please subscribe to the channel. I already said that. And that's it for me, fellow Deathbats, Lady Deathbats, fellow gamers, lady gamers, and take it easy and rock on, game on, and God bless.